Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone in today's class for the first intermediate grade. Our textbook is Super Goal number 1, and today we'll be teaching the last unit in this book, which is the expansion. We're going to explain or review units from Unit 5 until Unit 8. This lesson will be presented by me, Teacher Mazen Al-Harbi, and the sign language presented by Mr. Fawaz Al-Agil. So let's begin. Our objectives in today's lesson that we hope at the end you will be able to form question using the question words where and what, and also to differentiate between the use of there is and there are, and also to give directions and use present progressive tense. So let's begin. A quick reminder of our last lesson. Last lesson we have talked about the verb would like. And we said that we mean by would like is want. So for example, if we said I would like something, it's exactly as if we said I want something. But the difference between I would like and I want is that would like is more polite. It is more formal to use it than to use want. And here we have two kinds of the words or using the verb would like. The first one is if we use would like with a noun, and that is only for things or for nouns that we use it to talk about. For example, I would like a sandwich. I would like a sandwich. So here, after would like, we have used a noun, not a verb, but a noun. He would like coffee. He would like coffee. So here we have, after would like, we have used a noun. And also, they would like salad. They would like salad. Again, with all subject, we use the same verb without adding or changing anything. And also, what comes after would like is always a noun, not a verb. And also, we have talked about something else, which is the contraction of would like. That we said we can have a shorter form of the word would. For example, if we add an apostrophe and the letter D instead of saying would. For example, in this case, instead of saying I would like a sandwich, we would say I'd like a sandwich. I'd like a sandwich. And also with subject he, instead of saying he would like coffee, we can say he'd like coffee. And also with subject they, instead of saying they would like salad, we can say they'd like salad. So here are how can we use would like and what comes after would like, and also how can we use it in a shorter form. And here we have would like plus a verb, not would like only, but would like and added the word to plus a verb. So in this one, not only would like, but also a to. And when can we use this? We use it if we follow it by a verb. And why? Just to talk about the activities that we want to do. For example, I would like to read a book. So here, after would like to, I have added a verb. I would like to read a book. So after would like to, we add a verb, not a noun. And also with the other subject he would like to watch TV. He would like to watch TV. And here, after would like, we added to, and what comes after to is a verb, watch TV. And also we can use it with the other subject, which is they. They would like to swim. They would like to swim. So here is the second type or the second kind of the verb would like. We have the first one is would like plus a noun, and here this is the second one, would like to plus a verb. And as we did with the previous one, this one also have a shorter form, which is apostrophe and a D. So for example, we can say instead of I would like to, we can say I'd like to. I'd like to. And also, instead of saying he would like to, we can say he'd like to. He'd like to watch TV. And the same goes for the last one. They would like to swim. they'd like to swim. They'd like to swim. So here are the difference between would like and would like to, and why would we use it. Also, we have talked about how can we form a question with would like and would like to, and we said that we have two types of question using the verb would like. The first one is an information question that started usually with what, when, where, and the double H question. For example, the first one, what would you like? What would you like? It means what would you want? What do you want? What are the things that you want? But this is in a more polite way. What would you like? I'd like a sandwich. I'd like a sandwich. Also, we have other type of question, which is a yes or no question. And yes or no question always started with would. So it will be like this. Would she like fries? Would she like fries? So this is a yes or no question. We started with would and the subject and then the verb. Would she like fries? And the question or the answer will be, of course, either yes, she would, or no, she'd like a salad. So this is how can we form a question with would like. The same also goes if we use would like to, that followed by a verb. We can say, what would you like to drink? What would you like to drink? So here, after would like to, we added a verb. And we have mentioned that the answer would be, I would like to drink tea. This is a double H question or information question. The other type of question we have is a yes or no question. And the question will be, would you like to watch TV? Would you like to watch TV? And the answer will be, no, I would like to sleep. So this is how can we form two kinds of question, the information question and a yes or no question. And also we have more question using would like, which is by using the question word what, when, and where. For example, we can say, what would she like to watch? What would she like to watch? What does she want to watch? This is what this question means. So we will start, of course, the answer by, she would like to watch a comedy. She would like to watch a documentary. Any kind of answer, it suits this one. Also, what would you like to do? And here notice that whether the subject is she, or you, or he, nothing will be changed to the question. So we would use would in a question and in answer as the same without changing anything. So the second one, what would you like to do? I'd like to hang out at the mall. And the third one, where would he like to go? He'd like to go to the supermarket. So here are the answers of this question and the review of using would like. Now, today we will have remind ourselves with an important rule that we have learned in Unit 5, which is there is and there are. And we said that if we want to talk about something or if we want to point at something, if it's singular, if we have only one thing, or if we are pointing at someone or one thing or one person, we would use there is. For example, there is a tree. There is a tree. Here we can see only one tree. So since it is one, we say there is a tree. So if we see, for example, a group of trees, not one, but a group of trees, more than one, we won't say there is, we would say excellent. Yes, we would say there are. Why? Because it's not one, not two, it's more than one. So if we are pointing at more than one tree, we would say there are trees. There are trees. So a reminder that we use there is for only a singular, for only one thing or one person, and we would use there are for more than one person or more than one thing. Now, here we have a very interesting conversation. We need to continue it based on what we have basically learned in the last units. So the first one, we have two conversations, number one and number two. Let's try to read them together and try to elicit the answers for each one. So number one, we have A and B, the first person and the second one. The first one says, where plank you plank? And here is a question. Let's, before we understand what the question is, before we can answer what the question is, let's read the answer first. If we read the answer, then we can guess, we can know what the question will be. The answer said, I live on Baker Street. I live on Baker Street. So, if the answer is, I live on Baker Street, what do you think the question is? Very good. The question will be, where do you live? Where do you live? If someone asks you, where do you live? The question will start, or the answer must start with, I live. Let's move on to the second one. Plank it a good neighborhood. Plank it a good neighborhood. And here is a question. And here is a question. And before we know what should we write here, let's read the answer first. The answer started with yes. The answer started with yes. And we know that if we want to ask question that its answer either yes or no, we must start with the verb to be. So what do you think the verb to be that matches it? Is it am, are, or is? Very good. It is is. Is can goes with the subject it. So is it a good neighborhood? And the answer will be yes. I have everything. Yes, I have everything. It means in this neighborhood, I have everything that I might need. And also here, I plank very happy there. So when you want to, if you want to talk about yourself, what is the verb to be that comes after the subject I? Excellent. The verb to be is am or I am. You can choose either of them. So either you said, I'm very happy, or I am very happy. So here we have answered the conversation number one. Let's move on to the second one, the second conversation. So here we have what plank your house like. So now he talks about only one thing, only about one thing. So what is the verb to be that we should add here? We're only going to talk about one thing. He said, your house, not houses, your house. So since if it's only one thing, the verb to be will be excellent. The verb to be will be is. So what's or what is your house like? Describe your house. He would say, it plank very big. And this is a description. And what is the verb to be that comes with the subject it? Very good. It's or it is very big. And now we're going to talk about there is and there are. And as we agreed, there is for one thing, there are for more than one thing. And he talked about their plank 10 rooms. So not only one, rooms more than one. So with there, we would use are. There are 10 rooms. 10 rooms. And their plank a big yard. A big yard, only 1 yard, not many, only 1 yard. So since we're talking about one thing, the verb to be will be is. So there is or there is a big yard. And he continues, says, our house is small, but it is comfortable. And as we said in the last unit that we have connector. If we said one thing that is not good, the other is good, we would use a connector like but. So our house is small, but it is comfortable and it plank a nice view. And the answer will be, it has a nice view. So Here is a quick reminder of the rule there is and there are, and also the question of the answer that we have, the answers of question that we have a unit on, which is where do you live? Now, let's move on to the second exercise, which will be an interesting one. Just write where the things are in your house. So, for example, if we said, if we are going to talk about flowers, tell us where are the flowers. So, for example, there are flowers in the garden. You see how easy that is? If we are going to talk about one thing, you start your answer by there is. And if we want to talk about more than one thing, you start your answer by there are. Let's try the first one. Television. So now tell us, where is your television? I have wrote an answer that you can write it, or you can copy it to the place of the television in your house. So there is a television in the living room. There is. We started by there is because we are only going to talk about the television. So there is a television in the living room. Now let's move on to number 2. Photos of the family. So not one thing, but more than one thing. Okay. So tell us, where are the photos of your family? I'll tell you for myself, there are photos of the family in my parents' room. So this is my answer. What would your answer will be? The third one, sofa. Here we're going to talk about one thing. So where is your sofa? For me, there is a sofa in my bedroom. Number 4, a telephone. Where is your telephone? For me, there is a telephone in the living room. And number 5, a shelf. So where is your shelf? Maybe you have more than one shelf. For me, there are shelves in the kitchen. So here, just read those items, read those things, and tell us where are they. If you have more than one of them, you can start your answer by there are. If you have only one thing, you start your answer by there is. Now, on page 72, you can see a picture or a map. Work with a partner, ask and answer. Use the map to give direction and say where you are starting. And here you have an example that is already written on your book. So here, as you can see, you have a map that is similar to this, okay? And here we have a conversation. The first person says, I am at the Citibank. Is there a good French restaurant near here? So the guy or the speaker who wants direction, he is here at the Citibank. Let's read the direction and see how did he reach the French restaurant. So the direction will be, yes, there is. There is a French restaurant on the corner of Bank Street and B Avenue. So since he is standing there, the direction is on the corner of B Avenue and Bank Street. Then he must go straight and turn left, and on the corner of Bank Street and B Avenue there is a French restaurant. You can also do the same, and you also can use other vocabularies, like for example turn, the word turn. You can say turn right, turn left, based on where do you want him to go. Also you can use the word go straight. Go straight, not right, not left, but to go straight. And also go to the corner. Let's read or let's try an example here and see how can we give directions. So here, I am at the tourist office. Is there a bank near here? I am at the tourist office. Here is the place where the man is speaking. Is there a bank near here? And we want to guide him to the bank that it is here. So let's read the direction and see how can we tell him to go to the bank. We can tell him just to go straight on Bank Street and at the C Avenue to turn right, and the bank will be at the corner. So we can say Go straight on Bank Street, turn right on C Avenue. The bank is on the corner of Park Street and C Avenue. So you see how easy that is? You can direct or you can give directions to anyone just by using these simple words. Now, on page 73, we're going to have a simple exercise. So on page 73, you will have two pictures of two different houses. And what we need to do here is going to try to write what each person in those houses is doing. For example, you have a house A and a house B. And each of these houses there is someone who is doing something. So let's try to find out what each person is doing. So with a partner, maybe a family member or a friend or a classmate, what are the people doing? Write 8 sentences. And here I have wrote for you 8 sentences. You can write them down, or you can have also more sentences like this. The first one is that the sister in house A is studying or reading. Number 2, the cat in house A is sleeping in the yard. Number 3, the woman in house A is watching TV. Number 4, the grandfather and grandson in the kitchen in house A are eating. And number 5, the teen boy in house B is having a rest in his bedroom. Number 6, the girl in house B is doing homework. And number 7, the grandmother in house B is cooking. And number 8, the father in house B is reading the newspaper in the living room. So here are a simple 8 sentences about what people are doing in house A and in house B. And also you can have or you can write more sentences like these. The other exercise we have, the D exercise on the same page, just talk about not what are people doing, but what are some things in the houses. What are, just write about the things that we can see in houses. For example, in house A, there are flowers on the table in the dining room. In house A, there is a painting on the wall. In house A, there is a mirror in the bedroom. In house A, there is a car in the garage. In house B, there is a shower in the bathroom. In house B, there is a closet in the bedroom. And also in house B, there is a TV in the living room. And the last one, in house B, there is a refrigerator in the kitchen. Not only these things are there in these two houses, there are even more things. You can choose different things and write about them. And remember, if it's one thing, you say there is, and if it's more than one thing, you'd say there are. The last exercise we have today, a very interesting one, which is just to have a look at the pictures, and we write down 8 differences between house A and house B, and we compare our answer with a family member or even with a classmate. So we're going to have a look at those two houses and just to try find the differences. For example, house A is bigger than house B is modern, house A is old, and so on. So let's read here the examples. Number 1, in house A there is a bathtub in the bathroom, but in house B there is a shower in the bathroom. So this is the difference between these two houses. Let's read the second one. In house A, there is a mirror in the bedroom, and in house B, there is a poster in the bedroom. And number 3, in house A, there is a desk in the bedroom, and in house B, there is a dresser in the bedroom. Number 4, in house B, there is a table and chairs in the kitchen, and in house A, there is no table and chairs in the kitchen. And also number 5, in house A, there is a baby. In house B, there is no baby. Number 6, in house A, there is a bike in the garage. And in house B, there is no bike in the garage. And number 7, in house A, there is a vase with flowers on the table. And in house B, there are books on the table. And the last one, in house A, there are shelves, and in house B, there are no shelves. So here you have, or you can write more differences between these two houses. Now, before we finish, don't forget that on your workbook on pages 123 and 124, we will have more grammar practice and vocabulary presented in units 5 until, and unit 6 and unit 7 until unit 8. And now we have reached the end of our lesson. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.